Yeah. James Se, I got you. You Matter About Sports presents the Offseason NFL Edition. Let's ride. What you know about it? The fans screaming, shouting on Twitter, blasting the news about the team's action in the offseason. And yo, there's no reason to be stressing or guessing about what's going on. Now here's a tip, Holmes. Wine May, yes, got you, Holmes. Click the link, bro, and James Se will take you home. Wine May, yes, presents the offseason.
You're listening to the Offseason presented by You Matter About Sports. I'm your host, James Se, and welcome back to the show. It's been a long NFL season. It's been a long NFL postseason. And last night, the season wrapped up in true fashion with the New England Patriots becoming your new world champions of the NFL. And it was one crazy game. Last night's game will go down in history as probably one of the greatest Super Bowls to ever be played. And it was just nuts. It was nuts all around. And people that know me going into this game, I did not like the matchup leading up to Super Bowl week. I did not like the matchup. There was nothing compelling about the Atlanta Falcons. You know, they've been solid all season, but they had no storyline. There was just nothing for the Atlanta Falcons except they could win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. If you like that sort of thing, you like that sort of thing. Me, it didn't pull me in. And then, of course, everybody knows the storyline with the New England Patriots. This would have been revenge against Roger Goodell for the way he tried to ruin the Patriots season by suspending Tom Brady for 4 games. And all they did was go out and win 3 out of the 4. That's what was on the line last night. But leading up to Sunday, I must say, the storylines got better and better and better. And I was looking even more forward to Super Bowl Sunday. And let me tell you, last night's game was crazy up and down. If you're an Atlanta Falcon fan this morning, look, let me just say this. Be proud that you got there. Look forward to the fact that most of these players that played with this Falcons team will be back there next year. So you have a really good shot at making it to the Super Bowl next year. However, if you are a Falcons fan, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Leading, what was it? They led 21-0 at the half. 21-3 at the half. Come out of halftime. And then you go score a touchdown. Next thing you know, it's 28-3. By all cases, the game is over at that point. No team in Super Bowl history has ever done what the New England Patriots did last night. And according to ESPN Stats and Info, you can follow them on Twitter. That is a great Twitter account to follow. The Falcons led for 41 minutes and 18 seconds of the game. Hear that. 41 minutes, 18 seconds. A traditional football game is 60 minutes. The Falcons led for 41 of those minutes and 18 seconds. But here's where it gets funny. You're like, okay, there's still 20 minutes of dead air. You know, here is the funny part. Even though the Falcons led for 41 minutes and 18 seconds of the entire game, the Patriots did not lead until they won the game. That is crazy. That is crazy. On top of that, the Patriots overcame a 25-point deficit to win. This is the largest comeback in Super Bowl history. On top of that, there had never been an overtime in Super Bowl history. We had our first overtime last night. It was a great game. A lot of records being broken. Tom Brady had an unbelievable performance. You can hate him all you want. You can say Deflategate. You can say Spygate. You can say all these things about the New England Patriots, but here's one thing that people need to realize, especially when you want to throw out the Deflategate. You have to go out there and you have to play the game. Regardless, Deflategate to me didn't mean too much because it's a deflated football. In my opinion, they were doing themselves more harm. But then if you think about it in hindsight, cold weather, softer football, easier to catch. I get it, but you still have to go out there and play the game. Sure, they might have a little bit of an edge, but you still have to go out there and play the game. So I don't care. I don't care about the Deflategate. Spygate, that it is what it is with that. They got caught. I think it's been so long since I've talked about Spygate. But Spygate is Spygate. You can say what you want about the New England Patriots, but you have to believe this. That Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play this game. And Bill Belichick is the greatest coach to ever coach this game. I don't care who you are. You are down by 25 points in the Super Bowl. You come back and win that thing. It's never been done before, guys. It's never been done before. It's crazy what the New England Patriots were able to do last night. I, for one, thought the game was over. After Atlanta scored in the third quarter and they're up 28-3, I'm like, oh, that's it. New England hasn't been able to move the ball. And Atlanta, all they have to do is continue to run the clock. But bingo, there's the issue right there. The Atlanta Falcons last night ruined their chances of being world champions because they tried, and believe me, I saw it with my own eyes. They tried to create a Super Bowl MVP out of Matt Ryan, making him throw the ball unnecessarily, and all it did was keep the New England Patriots in the game, and look what happened. Look what happened. I remember it was 3rd and 1. They were moving down the field, but they kind of got halted. It was 3rd and 1. They were around the 40-yard line on their side of the field. And they wanted to drop back and throw the ball. And Matt Ryan was eyeing Julio Jones on this play. He was triple teamed. And then you get a strip fumble. Patriots go down and score. 3rd and 1. I believe that is the point right there where the game changed. Because that gave new life to New England. At that point, New England was done. There was nothing that you could do to help them. Nobody could have came in that game and helped them at that point. They were done. But on 3rd and 1, when you have Devontae Freeman and Telvin Coleman and a good offensive line that's been opening up holes the entire game against a New England Patriots defense that hasn't allowed a 100-yard rusher since the 2015 season, you don't run the ball? Come on. You've been able to run the ball all game long. All game long. The first play for the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51 was a simple a simple off-tackle run to the left side. Devontae Freeman bursts for 20-plus yards down the field. And you're telling me that you don't want to run the ball on 3rd and 1? That's where you lost the game. Then you get in field goal range. You continue to throw. Why? Run the ball. Kyle Shanahan, I was watching the interview, post-game interview. They asked Kyle Shanahan, why did they start throwing the ball when they were in field goal range? His words, he said, well, we did run the ball and we lost a yard. So what? You are in field goal range. You are in field goal range. A holding or a sack, which two of those things happened, could ruin you and move you out of field goal range. And that's exactly what happened. You continue to run the ball. Regardless if you lost a yard on 1st down, you continue to run the ball. Worst case scenario, your running back fumbles the ball or there's a bad center to quarterback exchange. That is the worst case scenario during that portion of the game when you're on that side of the field. You kick a field goal, the game is over. You kick a field goal, the game is over. There's nothing they can do at that point. They would have to get the ball back twice instead of once and go for two. And the New England Patriots are one of the best teams in the NFL for going for 2-point conversions. And all the odds that said you're down by 16 points, you have to get 2 touchdowns and 2-point conversions, everybody would have said it could not be done. There's only one team that could do it, though, and that's the New England Patriots. They could do it. If you were a Patriots fan last night, you weren't worried when you were down by 16 points. You weren't worried because you knew what type of quarterback you had in Tom Brady. He's going to get it done. He's going to find a way. I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm sitting here like, I know Atlanta Falcons are going to come up with a play on defense to take the ball away from New England. And they had multiple opportunities. Matter of fact, the first play on the goal line in overtime, right before James White scores the touchdown, Vic Beasley has the greatest opportunity in the world to intercept that ball. He is there. Instead, he tips it. Now, looking at the replay, he's off balance. He can't really get his hands right around the ball, but still, you have got to come up with a way to make that play and get the ball back for Atlanta. And we'll talk about overtime in a second, but the Atlanta Falcons ruined themselves by trying to create a MVP player out of Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had a spectacular game last night. Matter of fact, he had a passer rating of 144, which is unbelievable for a quarterback. That's damn near perfect almost for the amount of times he's thrown the ball. You can't create MVP candidates. You have to stay focused on the game. You have to stay focused on the prize. And Kyle Shanahan did a horrible job in the second half executing plays. He did an amazing job in the first half. And I'm sorry, if I'm San Francisco, I'm looking at that second half and I'm thinking, should we really hire this guy? But I mean, if you're San Francisco, do you really have a choice at the same time? But still looking at it, Kyle Shanahan did a horrible job calling plays in the second half. Those were terrible. Those were terrible, terrible plays. And Matt Ryan was staring down Julio Jones way too long. I know he is arguably the greatest wide receiver in the game today, but you just cannot eye him down. Mohamed Sanu, I believe, only had 1 catch the entire game. 1 catch. That is crazy. So it was a great game. Great game. Great way to end the NFL season with these two teams, two high offensively powered teams. It was a great game. From top to bottom, it was a great game. And it probably will go down as the greatest game in Super Bowl history, just because of all the records that were broken last night. But this is the offseason. And so now we push towards everything that is about to take place. You have the combine coming up. You have free agency coming up. Then, of course, OTAs and then training camp. And then we're right back into the NFL regular season. So we will be coming to you every other Monday. So today is the 6th. We'll be back on February the 20th to have another show. But before we go, I want to quickly talk about what took place last night in overtime. I still don't believe, or I still feel like our overtime rules aren't fixed yet. I really wished that the Atlanta Falcons could have had an opportunity to at least score. New England had all the momentum. There was no way the Atlanta Falcons were going to get that ball back. There was no way. There was no way. Tom Brady was going to do everything if he had to sacrifice his body to make sure Atlanta never got that ball back. So I feel like we still need to address the overtime. At least having both teams have the ball and see if they both can go down and score. If they do score, then, it's still same rules apply, I guess. I don't know. There still needs to be some sort of way that both teams can score and have the football. But the rules committee, they'll take a look at that. I know that's already on the docket for them to fix overtime rules. We'll see if they come up with something. But let me tell you, it feels good to be back on the mic. I apologize for, YMAS podcast kind of going away like it did. I will say this, it will be back this season for the 2017 NFL regular season. It will be back. 5-2 or Ty Mack, he'll be back. Okay? And Ty, he will be doing his Dropping Dimes and Rhymes podcast. As a matter of fact, he might be dropping one later today or sometime this week. So everything's good. We had some things we had to take care of. Ty had some things we had to take care of. So the podcast had to be put on the back burner. But it's all right. It's okay. The Offseason NFL Edition Season 2, Episode 1. We're here. This is what it is. We'll be coming to you every other Monday. Again, next time you hear from us, February 20th. Now, if you're the New England Patriots fan, go out, celebrate all week long, stay away from work. I don't care what you do. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, hey, hopefully you can get there next year. Just don't end up like the Carolina Panthers and suck for the 2017 season. All right, I'm out of here. You've been listening to the Offseason NFL Edition, Season 2, Episode 1. I'm James C. I'm out of here. Holla at your boy.